cool. So, all right. So what I'm going to rock with you guys on today is one-leggers, okay? I get asked a lot of the times, how do I get the spouse to do it if the other spouse isn't there? And the candid answer sometimes is you don't. Sometimes that's the exact wrong thing to do, okay? So there's really a 4 checkpoints that you need for every one-legger situation that you're going to encounter, okay? One-leggers have to be handled properly because a lot of times if you guys think throughout the day, let's just use that 2:30 to 5:30 part, that recon. A lot of times you're gonna run into one of the parents, maybe at home with the children, other parent out at work. That's a very common scenario. You're gonna run into one parent over at the new house, cleaning it up, getting it ready. Other parent with the kids at the old house, still packing. Very common scenario, okay? In this day and age, man, you got people spread out. One person works just on the outskirts of New York City, right? And they commute, so they're gone a lot. One person works remote and can't be bothered to talk right now. Can you come back in an hour? Whatever the situation is, you guys are going to be presented with, hey, even though you're talking to me, there's somebody else that needs to be present. And that's the smoke screen or the objection that you're going to get as to why you can't move forward and present right now, okay? However, there's a few situations where you absolutely are talking to the right person. You don't need the other person to sign off on the decision, and you can execute the deal right then. Okay, so you need to really learn how to feel that out, okay? And the first bullet point, obviously, when you're dealing with a one-legger, identifying if it's the right leg. Okay, this is just a funky way of saying, are you the decision maker for this? Guys, different roles in the family handle different decisions. Somebody's going to decide what we're having for dinner tonight without even asking, right? Somebody's going to decide which bills get paid first. Somebody's going to decide when the family's going to plan the vacation, what month it's going to be for, right? Somebody's going to decide what cable provider you're going with and how much to spend. Somebody's going to decide when you drop AT&T and switch to Verizon. Somebody typically handles these decisions, right? Now, the more money we're going to spend, the more involvement it's going to be on both, the more discussion, the more talk. But a lot of times what I have to really bring forth to the forefront for you guys is you got to remember this is a $50 bill, first and foremost. Okay, so don't overcomplicate this and understand that they do not call each other and say, hey, honey, I need to fill up my gas tank. It's going to be $68. We good? They don't do that. But you believe that they'll have that long hemming and hawing private conversation after you leave about the $55 to protect the kids when we're not here? Absolutely not, right? So it's a lot of times it's your guys' thoughts that make this harder than it is. So step one is, hey, who typically handles the safety and security of the family? Who would make that decision? A direct question that requires a direct response. Now, if you get something like this, oh man, my wife handles every dollar that goes out of this house, brother. She is the budget in the bank. I am just the one that fills it up. If you hear that from a customer, does that sound like you're talking to the decision maker? No. Okay, he has just put this off on the missus. Now later, when you come back to close, she's not allowed to put it off on him, is she? So that's step one. Identify your decision maker. Whether you're closing them now or later at 8:30 that night when you come back for the actual decision maker, it doesn't matter. You got to first identify which one do I need to go at. So step one, am I talking to the right leg? Hey, who typically handles the safety and security of the family? Who would make that decision usually? Oh man, that's me, but I still want to talk to the missus. And oh no, absolutely. Agree. Get off of it, go for your empathy, okay? But if you've identified your decision maker, let's say the missus is out with the kids. She's at Home Depot. She's away visiting mom for the weekend, right? Because mom's sick and she took the kids with her so that he could get the house ready for everybody to move in, right? So husband's there by himself. Hey, who typically handles the safety security of the family? Who would make that decision? Well, that's me, man, but we haven't moved in yet, all that stuff. Man, that is not only is that a maybe, that's a strong maybe. You have your decision maker, and this, what I'm about to teach you, is going to allow them to say yes and do home verification without feeling like they've signed a contract, okay? So if yes, then you move forward with the same exact process. Look, the only reason I ask is we've done a tremendous amount of research, okay? You are going to take that week maybe commitment. You have your decision maker and you have a commitment that they're maybe going to do this or probably do it in the future. Guys, everything I teach is identify your buyer and your decision maker. You have both of those things, okay? You're going to move forward a little more casually, talking in terms like, and if you guys decide to use the new homeowner program, if you guys decide to put the system in to lower the risk on the home, then, okay, you're going to use very wishy-washy language like that in the beginning, while you're getting out the 5-minute, explaining why you're there to bug them in the beginning. And look, I know you guys are still transitioning a lot of times. That's why they'll have us come out right away. Sometimes the house isn't moved into yet, and that's when we see a lot of activity before you guys actually fully transition in. What I'm doing is foreshadowing an objection of theirs, saying, hey, you're not going to be allowed to tell me that we're not getting this done because I haven't moved in yet, because I just told you a lot of times we have activity before the people actually move in. And because I know that the only way for you to get out of doing this now is, hey, we haven't moved in right away yet. I'm going to tell you that that's exactly why we do this before you transition in, because we've had a lot of issues with thieves targeting new break-ins. They break into new move-ins that haven't fully transitioned into the home yet. Okay, so as I'm moving forward, I'll use a lot of language like that. If it is a yes, you're going to get your hindrance, and they're going to try to stall out at the end when it's time to collect data and when it's time to input and check credit. Okay, can everybody feel that? We're like, man, they still don't have the wife. They're going to try to use that to get out. Absolutely. And that's exactly what I want. I want to steer it right to the only thing that they can use to get out is the wife. Because if I can control that that is what they're trying to use to get out of this, then this works almost every time. Okay? What I'm trying to tell you guys is I am steering them to give me an objection that says, this all sounds great, but like I told you before, with the missus not here, I can't commit to anything. You're going to have to come back. I'm steering them there, right? So, as we move forward with this person, we're going to do our 5-minute pitch. We're going to build the urgency, okay? And then when it's time to close in that awkward part where you're trying to figure out, man, how do I tell them that I want to pull credit right now and set up billing? Because I know they're going to tell me, yeah, but like I said, I got to talk to the missus, no decision right now, right? And it's just like this word track that I'm going to teach you. We're going to skip 3. We're going to go down to 4 real quick, okay? If yes, then, now obviously, sir, I don't want to have you make a decision that's going to get you in the doghouse and I see that the missus isn't here. That's why you don't do your paperwork with me, guys. Okay, my job is just simply to explain it, verify your ownership, answer any questions you might have. You don't actually do your paperwork until you guys decide to get the install done. And on the day of the install, the installer will actually go over everything with you, make sure it's right. And once the install's done and you're happy with the work, you and the missus, when you're happy with the work, that's when you sign your paperwork with ADT. My job is just to explain your options and do the home verification. What they're hearing is, man, I don't need you to sign anything. My job is just to see if you want to use it and explain it. But I'm really here just to verify that you are the actual owner. Guys, what we're saying is, hey man, I'm here to pull your credit and have you say to ADT, and yes, I am the homeowner on that recorded line. Okay? If you guys want to make changes, if the wife has questions, that's what I'm available for. Because if you guys want to make any changes or add anything or change anything, that's why we don't do paperwork until the installation. That way we know you guys are happy with it before you sign off. You have just taken the pressure, not only out of the close, but off of this man's shoulders. He's no longer making a decision. He's just verifying that they own the house, which she could have been the one to do that too if she was here. She'd be verifying ownership, right? But then you let him off the hook and be like, that way in case the missus is totally against protecting the house or she feels like she's not included in the decision, she can actually customize it with the installer and then we can do your paperwork then. My job, like I said, is just to see if you guys want to use it and bump it up the to-do list. Okay? So that's how I would handle a one-legger if I have the decision maker present. I still move forward. I keep the same ERT process. I figure out why they've got it on the to-do list. And then I explain that I'm there to move it up the to-do list, explain their options, get it done, verify ownership. And then right before I go for the kill, guys, I cool it off with, now look, I'm not asking you to make a decision because obviously the missus isn't here. Acknowledge the elephant in the room. And tell them I'm not asking you to make a decision. I'm just here to verify ownership and explain your options and get the ball rolling. And then you cool it off with that line. You do not do your actual paperwork until the day of install. Once it's done and you're happy with the work. Because that's the last thing I say, that's the last thing they hear, and then we pull credit. Every time they get the warm and fuzzy. Or, I don't know, they could pull out the phone and ask the missus, right? Now look, if you want to go ahead and tie a bow on the deal, say, and if you want to give the missus a call real quick, I can explain all this in about 4 minutes. All the options and everything. Trust me, she already knows that ADT does cameras. Wink at them. All right, trust me, she already knows what you're doing. And she's probably already made a decision about protecting the house too. Minimize them making a call. Because here's the two options. Either they say, yeah, let me get her on the horn, and you solidify the deal. Or what's the other option, Rob? I say, hey, can you get her on the phone real quick? What do they say?
Well, she's busy. Okay.
Oh, you can't get her on? My God, dude, what if this was an emergency situation and like you go into like a diabetic shock and the kids don't have cell phones, then what do we do?
They pick up the phone and start calling.
What do they have to do? Take your fingerprint and put it on the thing? Or do they have to like smack you to like wake you up so they can voice recognize, or they can recognize your face, right? That's the thing, right? You got to turn it. My God, what if it is an emergency situation? You guys can't get a hold of her? Hello? I hope they say they can't get her on the phone, because you just got to land a sales haymaker. My God, man, what if it's something happened to the kids? What if it's an emergency situation? Thank goodness I stopped by. Just wink at it and be like, I'm messing, bro. Listen, I don't expect you to make a decision without her. That's why I don't do your paperwork. My job's simple. To verify your ownership and explain the options. You're always going back to, we're pulling that credit. Hey, brother, I don't care if you decide or not. We're pulling that credit. You guys, your job is to get the technician there. His job is to get them building a security system. Your job's the idea of security, okay? And I can do that if I have my decision maker, because they've already had the idea of security. They've already decided. They just haven't decided when. You're going to make that influence as long as you isolate them as saying, yeah, I'm the one that handles this, all right? Now, let's back up. That's how you handle your yes, guys. That word track, practice that. It'll set you free, okay? Because all they hear is, no, babe, I didn't sign anything. I just verified ownership, and we have this program, and if we want to use it, this is what it comes with, or we can change it. We have other stuff we can, but he said you get to decide, and then we do the paperwork. Nobody's getting in trouble with that, all right? Not a man in America. And the women are going to make the decision and not even tell them that we're getting an install. Let's be honest, fellas. Tech shows up, guy goes, can I help you? He goes, yeah, I'm here to do your install. My what? And he turns and she goes, yeah, come in here. I want the key. Like, he just, okay, so is it that serious when it's a $50 bill? No, not really. I've had people open the door and go, oh yeah, I forgot. Come on in. It's a $50 bill. Don't overcomplicate this. Now, on the flip side, a lot of times you guys believe you've never caught a decision maker in your life. And every time you talk to somebody, you guys believe that that person can't make decisions even though they're living in the home. Okay? Whether it's Mama Bear, who we all know is probably really in charge, she'll say, my husband handles that. And that's enough to defeat you guys, right? Or you got the husband who's really smart and he's been married for a bit and he goes, no, brother, my wife makes all the decisions. And she's not here. Okay, those are your two situations right there. Okay? Either way, they're telling you, I ain't the one you need to talk to. You need to talk to my decision maker. In this scenario, in your no, less is more. Less is more. Not, hey, I'm Paul. I'm a Safe Haven ADT's authorized dealer. You guys have all this stuff available to you. You have all these freebies. Here's what I was going to do if your husband was here. Here's what I was going to do if your wife was here. Here's all that needs to happen. The monthly is $45, $55, or $65. Guys, they're not going to remember all that. You remember all that because you talk about it every day. But when you give them that, they'll remember about 3% of it. And then when you say, I'll come back later, I'll talk to your husband tonight, here's what's going to happen. Hey, babe, ADT's coming back later. What do they want? Something about some new home or something, some program we're in. Well, how much is it? It's like $65. We don't need that. Bleep. Poorly explained, yeah? No value, right? Snap decision because ADT's a big brand and they're like, that's a security system. I don't need that. $65, no way. But if they don't have enough information to tell the decision maker what's getting ready to happen, oh, I don't know. He just stopped by and said some program. What program? Oh, I have no idea. All right. Now you have to let me talk when I come back because she knows nothing other than relocation managers coming to explain the program. Don't give it away. A little bit of rapport, a little, look, you guys are in a new homeowners program. They send me by to explain, but it's It's kind of a lot of info. I don't expect you to remember all of it. I work till 8:30, so what I'll do, you're not asking. I'll make you guys my last stop of the evening. I usually wrap up about 8:15, 8:30. On my way out of town, I'll swing by. It takes like 5 minutes just to explain the options to you all, verify your ownership, and see if you guys wanted to use this to lower the risk on the home, explain what you're entitled to. That's all I'm doing. I'm swinging by for 5 minutes to explain what you're entitled to and see if you want to use it. No big deal. All right? I'll do you a favor, make you my last stop. Assumptively. Why? Because it should only take 2 minutes if I don't have a decision maker to say, I'll be back for the decision maker. Okay, what do you need to talk to him about? You'll see. That's the vibe. You'll see. Do we say it that way? No. Do we say, oh, it's just about the reduction on the homeowner's insurance, about the new homeowners program, everything you guys have entitled to? I meet with every new homeowner in the county. But it's a lot, so I'll explain it to you guys when I swing by. It takes like 5 minutes. Oh, no, he doesn't get home till 7. That's actually perfect for me because I work until 8:30. It's so hard to get you guys together this day and age. But it's no big deal. And if I don't catch him, then I'll just swing back by on the weekend. You're going to catch him. It's 8:30 at night, okay? But you're coming back. You're not asking. You're letting them know. If you ask, you're asking a yes or no, which means you're involving no you're inviting no in. Don't do that. Don't do that. Cool? So to recap, guys, number 1, identify you're talking to the right leg of the equation. Otherwise, you're going to fall down because you don't have your balance. If it's a yes, then obviously, sir, I don't expect you to make a decision that'll get you put into the doghouse. My job's pretty simple. I just explain the options to see if you want to use it and verify your ownership. But you actually don't do your paperwork with me. You and the missus would do that on the day of the install if you decide to use the new homeowner program. That way, in case you guys want to make any changes, you can with the installer. And then once you're happy with the work, that's when you'll sign your paperwork for ADT. Make sense?
Yeah.